Okay, viewers, welcome to the channel. We're going to look a little bit deeper into Romans 7, and I've made a critical outline. Sin taking opportunity by the commandment as the primary verse, Romans 7:8. And point number one, the thesis: law as an accelerator. Law as an accelerator of sin, not a cure. Paul's argument is not laws fail sometimes, it's harsher. Number one, law exposes sin. Number two, law intensifies sin. Number three, law multiplies guilt. Number four, law cannot liberate from sin. So therefore, law functions more like a mirror and a megaphone than a medicine. That's a structural critique of moral systems, not a mild one. Now, point number two, the key word, opportunity. Opportunity. Now, this word, aphormē, the Greek word aphormē, is used in the place where it says sin takes opportunity in Romans 7, but it shows up 7 times in the New Testament. And because Paul is Paul, all 7 are in the Pauline writings. Now, the core idea is a starting point / base of operations. That's what the opportunity is. It's a starting point. It's the base of operations. Originally a military sort of notion, and by extension an opportunity, an occasion, a pretext. So here's some of the occurrences. In Romans 7:8 it says sin seizing an opportunity through the commandment. So the commandment is, as it were, set up to be a starting point or a base of operations for sin to begin to seize this opportunity over you. Okay, and then in Romans 7:11, the same construction. Sin takes the base. Sin takes the base. The commandment provides and weaponizes sin. Then in 2 Corinthians, a different kind of context, 5:12, 2 Corinthians 5:12, giving you an occasion, a basis to boast, a legitimate ground to answer critics. So it's giving you legitimate ground to criticize, to fight back. And then 2 Corinthians 11:12 occurs twice in the verse where it says, Paul cutting off opponents, cutting them off, pretext / opening to claim equality with. And then in Galatians, don't turn freedom into a launch pad for the flesh. Do not use freedom as an opportunity or base for the sinful nature. And then in 1 Timothy, don't hand the enemy an opening. 5:14, he says, give the opponent no occasion to slander. So you're giving no opportunity for the opponent to take occasion over you. So what it means across these texts, across the New Testament, the word aphormē, if I'm pronouncing that properly, aphormē is rarely neutral. It's usually a strategic opening someone exploits, a strategic opening that someone or something exploits. Sin exploits the law, Romans 7. The flesh exploits freedom, Galatians 5:13. Opponents exploit situations as pretext, 2 Corinthians 11:12. And believers are told not to give critics that opening, 1 Timothy 5:14. Lexically, that tracks with the standard glossaries. Base of operations, starting point, opportunity, occasion, pretext. That's what the word sin taking opportunity through the commandment means. The word is military. It means a base, a launching point, a beachhead. So law becomes not the cause of sin, but the platform sin exploits. Sin uses the law as a launching point, as a beachhead, as a platform to exploit itself. Then the commandment provides 1. A target, 2. A boundary to transgress, gives you a boundary to transgress, and 3. A clear line to cross. So it gives the sinful nature something to break. So sin thrives on defined boundaries because boundaries create transgression as a conscious act. Okay? Boundaries create transgression as a conscious act. Then number 3, the law creates moral self-awareness, and that changes the nature of sin. Number 3, the law creates moral self-awareness, and that changes the nature of sin. Paul says, apart from the law, sin is dead. That doesn't mean no wrongdoing exists. It means something like this. Without law, wrong is often instinctual, chaotic, unreflected. But with law, wrong becomes named, chosen, accountable. So the law upgrades sin from animal impulse to moral rebellion. And that's deeper than rules tempt people. It's ontological. Law changes the category of the act. So point number 4, desire and prohibition, the forbidden becomes the centre. Paul uses coveting because it targets internal desire, not external behaviour. It's something you can't see, but it's there. The commandment does something. The commandment does something. 1, it makes desire itself visible. 2, it turns desire into an object of scrutiny. 3, scrutiny intensifies the desire. Scrutiny intensifies the desire. And this is a known phenomenon in psychology. Suppression rebounds, focus increases craving, and prohibition creates fixation. Romans 7 is describing the inner machinery of temptation. Point number 5, the law produces a split self. The law produces a split self. Romans 7:15 through 20 is basically a portrait of a fractured will. I do what I hate, Paul says. I agree the law is good, Paul says. Yet I cannot carry it out, he admits. So you get ethical cognition, I know the good. Moral intention, I want the good. And behavioural defeat, I do the opposite. So this produces shame, not just guilt. Guilt says, I did wrong. Shame says, I am wrong. The law intensifies that because it shows you the standard clearly. And then, viewers, we go to point number 6. The law reveals the limits of self-control as salvation. The law reveals the limits of self-control as salvation. Romans 7 is the demolition of the idea that 1, if I try harder, 2, if I just learn more, or 3, if I just discipline myself. Paul's point, self-improvement cannot overcome the inner force he calls sin. So whether you interpret sin as spiritual power, entrenched impulse, corrupt nature, or systematic bondage, it behaves like an internal tyrant. Law can name the tyrant. Law cannot overthrow the tyrant. Number 7, the moral trap. Law increases responsibility without increasing ability. It increases the responsibility, but not the ability to be able to keep the responsibility. This is brutal logic, viewers. Number 1, law increases knowledge. Number 2, law increases accountability. Number 3, accountability increases condemnation. Number 4, but ability remains unchanged. Number 5, therefore law creates despair because you can't keep up to the accountability that it requires. You just get deeper and deeper. You end up in despair. And that is why Paul calls the commandment unto death. Not because it is evil, but because it gives a perfect standard to an incapable subject. It's like giving a drowning man a rule book on swimming. It's just too late. Then number 8, the hidden target, rebellious legalism and moral pride. Romans 7 quietly attacks 2 illusions. A, the illusion of righteousness by performance, which is what most religions teach, righteousness by performance. If rules could fix you, the law would have produced life, but it didn't. It produced death. And then B, the illusion of superiority. Law creates a hierarchy. Those who keep it and those who fail it. But Romans 7 says the problem is not bad people out there. The problem is internal. Everyone is compromised. Law just makes it obvious. So, point number 9, the one question. Who is Paul talking about? There is a serious interpretive fight here. Is this Paul before conversion? Is this Paul after conversion describing ongoing struggle? Is this a rhetorical I for Israel under the law? Is it humanity under moral law? Each reading changes the punchline, but in every reading the core claim stays: law cannot produce freedom. So, point number 10, conclusion, Romans 7 is a controlled collapse. It is a controlled collapse. Romans 7 is written to corner you. Yep. It argues that, number 1, moral clarity does not equal moral power. Moral clarity does not equal moral power. Rules can intensify rebellion. Rules can intensify rebellion. And the human will is divided against itself. The human will is divided against itself. It ends with a scream: who will deliver me? That's not poetry, that's the point. The chapter is designed to make self-salvation feel absolutely impossible, and Romans 8 answers the crisis, but Romans 7 forces you to admit you're in one. So, let's leave that talk there. If you've got comments or things that you want to ask, put them in the comment section, and I'll see you in the next talk.